Excellent. Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mayor.
Yeah, welcome to a regular council meeting. Let's get her started. Would someone like to move the approval of the agenda, please?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor, before we go any further,
Yep.
I'm just add something to the agenda maybe. I'm just wondering when we can expect to table the new code of conduct policy.
I don't know if you have some,
And we just started to get municipal affairs, so they've got some training modules.
Okay.
So we'll be looking at that now, some training in October.
Thank you.
yeah, I think actually just before I walked in, I think I saw a new email from NL, or from Municipal Affairs about that. Okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions there? Okay. Okay, with some, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. We have some minutes from August 15th. Would someone like to move the approval of the minutes, please?
Also moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions, omissions, mistakes? No? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. We have some confirmation of minutes, so when we do a council and committee meeting, we have to ratify those minutes in a public meeting. So if you would, Councillor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council and Committee meeting, August the 31st, 2022. CC 22024, approval of agenda. It is resolved to approve the agenda as circulated. So be it resolved to ratify minutes CC 22024, approve of the agenda. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried.
CC 22025, Director of Finance Administration position. It is resolved to appoint the preferred candidate as the Director of Finance and Administration based upon the terms and conditions of the employment contract. It is further resolved to approve the employment contract for the preferred candidate. So it is resolved to ratify minutes CC 22025, Director of Finance Administrative position. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? And welcome, of course, to our new Director of Finance. We look forward to, again, I think, did we have a chance to welcome you in a public meeting yet? We haven't, have we?
No.
Okay, well, we'll get back to you. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
Continue on, Councillor Granter.
CC 22-026, approval and execution of agreement investing in Canada Infrastructure Program 17GI-230001, Mount Bernard Avenue reconstruction. It is resolved to accept the cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation Project Approved Letter. Project number 17GI-230001, Mount Bernard Avenue reconstruction with a total project value of $11,442,569. It is further resolved to provide the ultimate recipient share value of $2,075,304 in funding for the project and authorize the mayor and city manager to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the city of Corner Brook. It is resolved to ratify minutes CC 22026, approval and execution of agreement investing in Canada Infrastructure Program 17GI-230001, Mount Bernard Avenue reconstruction. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carry.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And again, we'll go back to our new Sivan Maestri.
That's correct, yes.
That's right. So welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Did they tell you that you have to prepare a budget in the next couple months?
They did on the first day.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you very much and welcome aboard.
Thank you very much.
We have any business arising from the minutes previously mentioned on August 15th? Okay, good. Proclamations and events. We have a number of items here. The month of September is declared as Arthritis Awareness Month. As well, it's declared as Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder Awareness Month. September 4th was noted as National Polycystic Kidney Disease Awareness Day. Earlier today, we marked Prostate Cancer Awareness Month for the month of September. And I will also mention as well that I was asked to include the Parkinson's Society is doing a shake, rattle, and stroll event, a walk, 1 p.m., so Sunday, September 25th, up at the Civic Center. Okay. We have, Councillor Pender, would you tell us about a home-based business application, 35 Country Road, please?
I shall do my best, Mr. Mayor. And background information, a notice was delivered to residents in the immediate area of 35 Country Road indicating the proposed home-based business, eyebrow services, lamination, waxing, and tinting. As a result of this notice, one submission of objection was received by telephone. Concerns of the caller were increased traffic in the area, especially near the intersection, and parking concerns. The caller had concerns of possible future accidents. The dwelling contains a subsidiary apartment. Also, it is proposed to have one client visit the premises at a time. As a result, a total of 2 parking spaces are needed for the dwelling and the apartment. After speaking to the applicant, they indicated that there are plans to construct an extra parking space at this location. After review of the application and the results of the notice to residents, the Development and Planning Department is recommending that approval be granted for the requested home-based business, subject to the extra parking space being constructed prior to the home-based business commencing operation. So the resolution reads as follows. Be resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home-based business from the dwelling at 35 Country Road in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority, subject to an extra parking space being constructed prior to the home-based business commencing operation. I so move.
Thank you very much. Would someone like to second that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one? Yeah, pretty straightforward, I think. I think the background sort of covered it all. No questions? I'll take to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. And we have another discretionary use, a home childcare at 2 Spencer Street.
Oh, that's me too. Okay. Yes, Mr. Mayor, an application for home child care on 2 Spencer Street. Background information reads as follows. A notice was delivered to the residents in the immediate area of 2 Spencer Street indicating the proposed home child care. As a result of this notice, no submissions were received. Parking has been reviewed and sufficient parking is present. After review of the application and the results of the notice to residents, the Development and Planning Department is recommending that approval be granted for the requested home child care. Home care. Did I read right? Anyway. Be resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the application to operate a home child care from the dwelling located at 2 Spencer Street in accordance with Regulation 11, discretionary powers of authority. I so move.
Thank you. Would someone like to second that one?
I'll second it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor,
Go
one
ahead.
question. How many children would be at the home care at any given time at the proposed 2 Spencer Street?
Mr.
It does
Travis?
say sufficient parking. I'm just wondering the number of children, if that answers, if that's possible.
Yeah, Mr.
Through you,
Travis?
Mr. Mayor, I do not know the answer to that question. My apologies, I should have asked staff what the number was.
And I'm assuming the request would, information like that in terms of expected traffic, so the amount of parking required would be something that staff would investigate as part of their,
Absolutely. That would be one of the first questions they would ask is how many children, and they would go from what they need, what we require for parking for that number of children.
Okay,
okay.
thank you.
My
Okay.
apologies.
No, not a problem, thank you.
Any other?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I did have a look at the property. It does have significant parking. It's not just one lane.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. And you're not done yet, Councillor Pender.
Apparently not. I'm going to a
But
spa.
we're going to a spa, maybe, on Union Street.
Well, I could have gone and got my tinting and waxing done on Country Road, and then I'll go to the spa on Union Street. All right, background information. So, the City of Corner Brook has received an application requesting permission to operate a personal use service, a spa, from the building located at 26 Union Street. The building is located in a light industrial zone where the proposed use, personal service, is considered a discretionary use as outlined in the City of Corner Brook's development regulations. The application was advertised via the Western Star, and the city did not receive any objections to the proposed development. I hesitated at Western Star because we don't have a Western Star anymore, do we?
Western Wire, I guess.
Western Wire, okay.
Yeah.
I was hopeful for a second. All right. Proposed resolution. Be resolved that the council of the city of Corner Brook, that council in its authority approve the application for the proposed spa business at 26 Union Street in Corner Brook. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Just mention, Mr. Mayor, that's in that, I was going to say what Ben's Bakery was in that
Yes,
same
that's-
building there.
Yeah.
So there's ample parking there for that as well.
Yeah, it's a real mixed-use area. I mean, the zoning doesn't quite reflect the historic use of the area for sure, right? Any other questions? Okay. Let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Contraminded? Carried. And before I forget, we get to the next item, we have regrets from the Deputy Mayor and Councillor Gill tonight. So I wanted to pass those on. We have confirmation of an order, Pratt Street subdivision. Councillor Keating, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Stop work order at Pratt Street subdivision. Since the previous meeting of council, the following order was issued by the Department of Community Engineering, Development, and Planning, and therefore must be confirmed by council pursuant to Section 109 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act. Order number 2022-04. The date of issue was August 18th, 2022. Pratt Street subdivision Phase 3. Violation Section 8, City of Corner Brook Development Regulations, stop work order. Section 109 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000 requires that all orders issued by authority be confirmed by majority of council at the next meeting of the council after the order is made. If the order is not confirmed by council in this matter, it shall be considered to be canceled. Proposed resolution, in accordance with Section 109 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act, the following order is thereby confirmed by council. Order number 2022-04. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, previously when this came to council at committee, I was ruled by council at the time not to be in a conflict of interest. I do live across the street from where this particular development is taking place. So I assume I'm not in a conflict of interest to speak to this or vote.
Yeah, do we want, well, let's take it to a vote maybe just to confirm. So would someone like to make a motion that Councillor Granter is continued to not be in a conflict? Is that fine?
I'll do that.
You will do that? Would someone second that?
Second.
Second that, okay, and we'll vote without Councillor Granter. So we're voting for him not being in a conflict, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contraminded, nobody. So you are on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I don't know if you had a question or
No, I don't have a
Okay.
question. I just want to
Just
make
wanted
sure
to
I didn't
confirm
vote,
that.
I didn't vote for something or against something.
Yes, that's right.
And I'd be in a conflict.
Yeah.
In that case, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I just have a question. So the stop work order was sent August 18th. So has that work restarted now? Have we lifted that since, or is it still,
It has not been lifted as far as I could tell, correct? Right.
so it's still under?
Yeah. Now, just to confirm, we had some confusion last time. I think we had a stop work order. Staff do have the authority to lift the stop work order and commence work. We just have to confirm it at the next meeting. So we never hold up development because of the schedule of our council meeting. Just want everyone to know that.
We just confirmed.
That's right.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, just surprised that they haven't worked this out because it was
Yeah.
part of their development plan.
Yeah, and I guess for the benefit there, the order itself does state that, you know, in basic terms, there was work that was approved and planned and a design that was approved for this work, and the proponent is not carrying out in the fashion that was proposed. And so our staff, of course, they want to make sure that the right drainage systems and catch basins are installed in the area. You know, we're talking about some pretty heavy weather this weekend, and we've seen increased problems with drainage over the years, so we take it very seriously to design these systems in a robust manner. And of course, after the work is done, the city does inherit these streets and these curbs and gutters, and it's responsible to the homeowners to make sure it's a safe area. So in this case here, it seems, yeah, I don't know why the proponent hasn't complied with the rules and the design that they've submitted. So
Well, interesting. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
we don't like to do this. I think that's, I can safely say on behalf of everyone that we don't like to impede any progress, but we have to make sure, unfortunately, we are the ones that have to maintain the rules, and that's the rules.
Mr. Mayor, just add that, like you said, the rules are there for a reason. I mean, we just spent, I don't know, $300,000 on one street and $700 on another putting storm sewers, which is exactly what we're talking about here,
Yeah.
to prevent flooding and water damage to people's property. I think it's something that people have come to expect,
Yeah.
and I don't think the city should be on the hook a year or 2 or 10 down the road to put in something that was already agreed to before the project began.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Mayor, it doesn't look like any work to be going in anytime soon. They placed barricades up there this afternoon, concrete barricades on both ends of the entrances to the development.
Well, that's, again, we're here listening, I'm sure staff are willing to help figure this out in a way that's satisfactory to everyone. We're not inflexible on these matters, but we do have to make sure that the best thing's done for the city. So, anyway, we're open to chat and resolve this for sure. Okay, so any other question before we vote on this?
No, I just say it's a good catch on staff's part
Yeah.
to see this before it got buried, I guess, and make sure that the work is done properly.
Absolutely. Okay, so all those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Next, Councillor Granter, we have supply of phosphates for corrosion control, water chemicals.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The City of Corner Brook has requested bids for the supply of phosphates for corrosion control on a standing offer basis. This is a one-year contract from December the 1st, 2022 to November the 30th, 2023, with an option of a one-year extension. The product is proven to be effective in controlling corrosion in the water distribution system. Tenders for the supply of phosphates for corrosion control 2022-28 closed on August 31st, 2022, with the following 3 bids received. Shannon Chemical Corporation, $100,444 US dollars. Brentag Canada Incorporated, $151,800 US dollars. Univar Solutions, $212,280 US dollars. Tenders were reviewed by staff and recommend awarding to the low bidder Shannon Chemical Corporation. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook award the tender to Shannon Chemical Corporation for the tender price of $100,440 US dollars for the supply of phosphates for corrosion control 2022-28. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. A seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. So, questions on this one?
I'm shocked, the price,
Yeah?
if I can. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, didn't mean to interrupt. But I did have a question. Why is it in US dollars? There are no Canadian suppliers, I assume?
That's
Mr.
correct.
Charters?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's correct. There are no Canadian suppliers,
Okay.
or at least not bid.
No. And my other question was, so I guess there's no HST if we're buying it in the States?
Oh, that's a very good question.
I asked that because it comes up after, in another motion.
Oh, did it?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I would assume you'd have to pay HST, but I don't know.
Okay, I just, because usually we say with or without,
That's right, yeah.
and it does come up later, so I just curious.
That's the price.
Anyway, I'm sure staff will figure it out.
And then HST behind it.
Okay.
I'll ask.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I'm just an observer. Like one bid to be 100,000 and one to be 212.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy.
Well, you'll notice the staff have put in the memo here, the financial impact, and you'll notice this on the subsequent ones as well, that there is a indication of the change year over year or year over 2 years. So in this case, we're looking at a 40% increase since the previous contract. So, yeah.
It's
Yep.
expensive, Mr. Mayor, but it has a very significant impact on our water supply system, especially in the corrosion, and it does actually save us money, so it's worth the money, I guess, until it gets to a point where we can't afford it anymore.
Yeah, well, in every, I guess, penny we spend on this, we would potentially save this or more on repairs, water repairs, and we've used this chemical very effectively over the last number of years, since bringing on the new plant, or just like shortly after that.
Yeah, within a year or two.
And it fixed a lot of issues. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Councilor Granter, we have another of our water treatment chemicals, polyaluminum chloride coagulant.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. To tender for the supply of water treatment chemicals, polyaluminum chloride coagulant, contract number 2022-26, closed on August the 31st, 2022 at 12 noon, with one bid received for a 2-year standing offer. Chimera Water Solutions Canada, Inc., $763,427.50, HST included. Staff have reviewed the bids and found them to be in order and recommend awarding this contract to Chimera Water Solutions Canada Incorporated. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Well, I mean, Mr. Mayor, if I may, and I think we all know what the question is, you know, I guess we all know why it's going up. A 59% increase over last year is significant. The question I was going to ask, last year, we allocated extra funds for water because we were using a different water supply for a period of time. I guess we're back now on the Cornerbrook system. I think we're up on Eastern Lake, or something like that. Can't remember what it was. Anyway, I'm just wondering what it's gonna cost if we have to switch again if we don't have enough water in the reservoir, as happened a couple of years ago. Just looking at the increase in cost over last year, fingers crossed that situation doesn't happen again, but it can, right?
And I noticed, I think, was this the chemical that we required, again, we approved a changed amount on the standing offer? Do you remember? Remember last winter, I
Yeah.
believe, we had to approve a change. There was only one supplier,
Right.
and they applied to having a price increase.
We had no choice, but this was same situation, a little bit different, except there's two.
Right.
We have to have it, Mr. Mayor. It's,
Yep.
it's necessary for the plant to operate, and I think people will agree that the water we drink is some of the best water. I always say Atlantic Canada, probably in Canada. When you look around this province and the country, people with their drinking water issues, we're very fortunate to have it, even at this cost. It's something we have to have.
Yep, absolutely. So any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Next. And soda ash this time, Councilor Granter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The tender for the supply of water treatment chemicals, soda ash, contract number 2022-25, closed on August the 31st, 2022 at 12 noon, with one bid received for a 2-year standing offer. Quadra Chemicals, $167,900, HST included. Be it resolved that the Corner Brook City Council award the contract for supply of water treatment chemicals, soda ash, 2022-25 to Quadra Chemicals at the tender price of $167,900, HST included, for per year for a 2-year standing offer. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Before we go on, just, we are getting a lot of feedback here in the room. I don't know if anyone has access to the mixing console here. Right? So if someone back behind the scenes,
There we go.
look at that. Thank you very much.
That's
Whew.
for listening.
I was waiting for the big cackle to come out of the system, the squeal. Yes, so questions on this item? Once again, we're looking at this time, I think, a 45% increase over the previous contract. Again, it's a standing offer for a 2-year period, so.
Mr. Mayor, not a question on this particular item, but just on water use in particular.
Yeah.
Just wondering if at some point staff can provide us with an update on the amount of water use being used and what's it costing us per liter, and how that has changed over the last number of years. Obviously, we're using less water even if the price increases.
Right.
The overall cost could stabilize, so it's always important, I think, for residents to know how much water we're using and do our best to reduce its consumption and waste.
Absolutely.
So I think we've done a good job on water leaks and things like that.
Yeah, in some ways, we're down to our lowest levels since we opened the plant. So we've done well with leak detection. There's ways to go. I think that engineering has plans to do more study there as well in the future as we look toward possibly recouping some costs by sharing water with others and things like that. But yes, it is a very costly endeavor, not something we should take for granted, for sure. So, any questions here? Same boat, really, different chemicals. So all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. Next, Councillor Griffin, Civic Center snow clearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tenders were invited for the Civic Center snow clearing for a 3-year contract. The tender closed on August 24th, 2022, with 3 bids received. Ron Flynn Transport Limited, $63,995.20 HST included. JCL Investments, Inc., $78,775 HST included. And West Coast Excavating and Equipment Company Limited, $136,217.50 HST included. Be it resolved, the Corner Brook City Council award the tender for the Civic Center snow clearing 2022 to 2027 to Ron Flynn Transport Limited for the annual amount of $63,395.20 HST included for a 3-year term. I so move.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second that, please?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Pick your choice there, Marina. The questions on this item?
Just making sure the amount that we're reading here, $63,995.20 is correct?
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, it does say that it's for a 3-year contract, so there wasn't anything in the contract whereby it would increase by a percentage each year. That's the amount that's locked in, that's $63,995.20?
Yes, Mr. Charters?
No increases over a 3-year period?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's what I understand was in the contract, or in the tender, yes.
That's not terribly far out of line.
23%.
23? That's nothing. We're dealing with almost 60% on some stuff. Oh, my. Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded? Carried. And another harbinger of winter, supply of winter sand. If you would, Councillor Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The current contract to supply winter sand has expired. The Provincial Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, on behalf of the city, tendered to supply and stockpile of 1,500 square meters of winter sand at the city's new salt depot on O'Connell Drive. The tender closed on August 11, 2022, and all submitted bids are listed below, HST included. Humber Arm Contracting, $76,755. Marine Contractors, $79,425. Be it resolved that the Corner Brook City Council accept staff's recommendation to accept the bid of $76,755 HST included by Humber Arm Contracting for 2023 winter sand. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions on this item?
It is what it is, pretty well.
Yeah, I guess we could soon start calling the salt shed new. Stop.
Yes, I was just going to say the same. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, it's not your fault, that's what's written, yeah. So if there are no questions, pretty straightforward. Must have, unfortunately. So in our hills, we can't get away with just salt. We do have to use quite a bit of sand.
I was just thinking 76,000 to buy it, another 70 or so to put down, another 100 or so to clean it up.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, but it's unavoidable. So, okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Councilor Granter, we've got a change order on the Citadel Drive PRV.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Corner Brook Citadel Drive, change order number 1, signed by ECO and CBCL 002. There was an error made at tendering and contracts, MERX, M-E-R-X, that reported the submitted tender price was $560,000, including HST, when the price was actually $560,000 plus HST. Email from tendering and contracts attached. This change is being issued to add the HST amount to the contract. The proposed resolution be it resolved that Corner Brook City Council approve change order number 1 for Eco Contracting for an increase of $84,000 for the Citadel Drive PRV Rehabilitation Contract number 2022-08. So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
Financial impact, since it is an increase, perhaps I should
Yeah.
say that, Mr. Mayor?
go ahead.
The construction budget was $702,000. The original contract amount was $560,000, and the new contract amount, which now includes the HST, $644,000, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Would someone like to second that?
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor, this is one I referred to a moment ago, but just on the HST itself, although it sounds like it's an extra $84,000, we do get a rebate from various levels of government on the HST that we pay. I'm not quite sure what it is, but we get some of that back, I understand.
Again, who would like to answer that?
Well, that's correct.
Yeah.
And also that this is an eligible project cost too.
Okay. Yeah,
So we know that.
so it'll come out of the financing that we get, we are provided by various levels of government.
And Mr. Mayor, for clarification, when we do say an error was made at tendering and contracts, that's tendering and contracts at the provincial government level, correct? Not at the city level?
That's right, so that's how I interpret the email, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, so this is and I'm assuming this wouldn't affect their lowest, the award of the tender itself in terms of the costs, okay. Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Again, can't see an alternative on this one, so,
Is this project started, Mr. Mayor?
yes, this is well underway, isn't it? Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
okay. Any other questions before we vote? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Councillor Griffin, we have received some funding for a smart card system. Would you please tell us about it?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Department of Transportation and Infrastructure approved funding for the smart card system under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. In order to modernize the transit payment system, the City of Corner Brook applied for funding to enable the partnership with Metrobus St. John's to provide a smart card digital payment option for Corner Brook transit customers. The proposed partnership would see the City of Corner Brook availing of the existing Metrobus digital backend infrastructure to provide a, let me start that line again. The proposed partnership would see the City of Corner Brook availing of the existing Metrobus digital backing infrastructure to provide the digital smart card system, which includes smart cards, validators, driver consoles, desktop readers, training, and engineering services. This technology would also facilitate a pilot project in conjunction with the Newfoundland Department of Children, Seniors, and Social Development, whereby those on income assistance would be given a transit pass. Be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook accept funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure project approval to complete the project under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. The City of Corner Brook Council authorizes the Mayor and City Manager to sign the Municipal Infrastructure Fund Agreement with the Department of Transportation Infrastructure on behalf of the City of Corner Brook. I so move.
Okay, thank you. Seconder on that? Anyone? Open up for debate, even if you don't want to do it.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. So questions on this item?
I don't have any questions.
Go ahead.
I think it's a great move forward, and it's nice to see us implementing the new technology for our transit system.
Absolutely.
And every step forward is a benefit and a bonus for the city and its users, so I'm glad to see it. And as it says, the smart card allows us then to do other things with people who are with Department of Seniors, Children's Senior Social Development, so that they can get transit passes and so on. So I think it's a great idea, and I applaud staff for having applied for it, and let's get it moving.
Yep, absolutely. Any other questions, comments? Yeah, this is, and again, we still have yet to confirm any participation in that program, I believe, but this was required as a base. We needed this to be able to do it at all, right?
Yeah, that's correct. The original pilot project that Metrobus in St. John's has undertaken has been extremely successful, but they had this technology in place to enable them to do that. They've been very gracious to let us use their back-end computing power, and yeah, we're really excited about being able to do this. It provides another option to our residents for transit, and this probably isn't the end.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Councillor Keeping, we have atrium artwork project with Hervé Manuel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Irving Manuel is a self-taught artist who has been working with glass for 18 years. She works year-round in the glass station in Rocky Arbor, Newfoundland. Manuel uses leaded and fused glass panels as well as kiln-informed glass sculpture and functional objects. Her studio may be occupied by a freestanding glass caribou or iridescent squid immortalized in shimmering glass platters. The interactions of color, texture of glass, and the ever-changing light brings life to Manuel's vibrant works, mimicking the beauty that surrounds her. For this project, there are two separate pieces, Wood and Bog and River to the Sea, which constitute the whole proposed installation entitled Local Habitat. Wood and Bog will be created from sheet metal with round stock painted middle and art glass inserts. There will also be O's in section of the middle to allow light to come through and to create the illusion of movement that the viewer would experience as they walk past or look over the installation. The 5 space layers of the installation also add depth and interest to this section, and the curvature of the segments as well as the transparency of the colorful glass allows the work to be enjoyed from all sides. River to the Sea will be created with welded and painted stock metal and colorful art glass inserts. This project is co-funded by the City of Corner Brook and provincial government as part of the Come On Muir grant. The proposed resolution, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Corner Brook approve the agreement with Irving Manuel to install the local habitat artworks at a cost of $49,944.50, HST included. I so move.
Thank you very much. Would someone like to second that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
I don't have a question, but I'll make a comment, Mr. Mayor. Anyone that have seen Hervé's works down in Rocky Arbor and as well around the area would know that she does absolutely fabulous work. And I look forward to, if this gets passed, to see some of that work here in City Hall.
Absolutely. Yes?
I was noting the delivery schedule, obviously we're way past that, but the question I was going to ask, Mr. Mayor, was, is this going to be a permanent exhibit? Because I know it's for the come home year.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter when it gets delivered, really.
It is a permanent exhibit, yeah.
Excellent. Good to see.
Yeah. We've had, of course, different, over the years, down the atrium, different plants in the front and on the side near the ramp as you come up. And so this would be something that would be fitting with the natural wood and that of the atrium, and but yes, the permanent.
Very nice.
Any other questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Councillor Griffin, we have an update on the transit route to long-term care center.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This information report is intended to advise council of a solution intended to get transit passengers to the new long-term care as a pilot project. Council has directed staff to explore ways to get passengers directly to the door of the new long-term care, and as a result, several options were explored. These included extending the existing route and using a shuttle service. It is not possible to extend the current routes to the long-term care, as this would have a significant negative impact on the existing service, making it unreliable and could see regular passengers waiting for the bus for far longer than is acceptable. The option of stationing a shuttle bus such that it would take passengers to the door once dropped off at the nearest transit stop proved to be cost prohibitive. Staff are now proposing that a subsidized taxi service be used to take passengers from the transfer station on Park Street to the long-term care and from the long-term care back to the transfer station. It is proposed that the service works as follows. All trips start and end at Park Street Transfer Station. Service only available from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, the same hours as our regular transit service. Transit fare $3.50 must be paid to either transit operator, taxi driver, or the passenger must show a valid monthly bus pass to the transit operator. All passengers must make their way to the transfer station. Transfer operators to call Buckles Dispatch to request taxi to the long-term care center from the transfer station. Passengers must call the long-term care center to request return taxi no later than 6 p.m. Taxi companies to submit receipts for each trip provided and whether or not fare $3.50 was paid on a monthly basis. This service would operate in much the same way as trips that are now provided to passengers with mobility challenges. Because the number of trips required is currently unknown, it is difficult to estimate what such a service will cost. Local taxi companies have suggested that each trip one way would cost roughly $20. Staff will work with the new transit provider and local taxi companies to implement the additional service by October 3rd. At the same time, staff will develop a communication strategy to inform the public of the additional service. Staff will also bring a follow-up report to council regarding the numbers of users and the costs of the service after 6 months. Period.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that from anyone? Okay,
Just
yes, go ahead.
So this is just an information for tonight. This will come back to vote on?
Nope,
No, it won't come back to
No,
vote.
no,
This is information.
this is just, I guess, staff's plan to implement what council voted on, so.
So what would it cost a resident from the transfer station to the long-term care facility? So it would cost them out of pocket $3.50, right?
Yep.
And the $20 will give bill back to the city,
Yes.
right? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, we do a similar service right now, like it mentioned, for our, because we don't have any paratransit in the city. And I guess at this point, this is the most cost-effective way. It's a stopgap too, because remember, we do have a challenge right now because of the construction period, whether or not we want to continue that once construction is completed, and the proposed bus stop stops within, I think, is within, definitely within the 400 meters of the long-term care entrance. Again, we can reevaluate that. It does seem, I'm not quite sure, looking at the end of Wheelers Road there, it's hard to tell if it's a path or an actual roadway that's going in toward the hospital long-term care right now, but we know it's one or the other, right? Yes, okay.
Mr. Mayor, I was up there yesterday, my bike actually, I rode on that path, and they do have streetlights on it. Whether they're just for a pathway or a roadway, I don't know, but
Yeah,
it would probably be within 400 meters to the
yeah.
entrance.
It would
Be
be.
very close.
And I guess that's why the
To the
staff,
hospital itself.
that's why staff proposed that spot as the best. But right now, of course, you do have to travel
Right now, we
around.
have to go around.
Yeah.
As I understand it, that will be a pass/emergency exit, exit to the facilities.
Oh, okay.
Not a full public road, as I understand it.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Okay. Counselor Keeping, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, September 30th.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is a statutory holiday for employees in the federal government and federally regulated workplaces. The holiday was created in June of 2021 with intent to educate and remind Canadians about the history of residential schools, honor victims, and celebrate survivors. The province of Newfoundland and Labrador has not yet designated this day a provincial statutory holiday. However, have closed provincial buildings and given provincial employees the holiday. The province states that consultations are ongoing with regards to making this day a provincially recognized holiday. Be it resolved that the City of Cornwall approve the request for September 30th, 2022, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, to be a holiday for city employees and grant City of Cornwall staff the day to reflect and commemorate the tragic history of residential schools in Canada. I so move.
Thank you very much. Seconder on that?
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Are the schools closed on that day as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's very much similar to the day we had on Monday for the Queen's funeral. So, again, not a stat holiday, but schools are closed and provincial employees were not working. So,
Mr. Mayor, if the 30th falls on a Saturday or Sunday, it's only if it falls in the work week that it would be a holiday?
that's a good question. Mr. Cumby?
I would think that, like any other holiday, that if it fell directly on a weekend, that it would be a holiday some other day, but,
Right now, we're just approving it for this year anyway.
for this year, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
But it is a Friday, right?
This year, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, next year's.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll get more clarity around this, like
direction.
from a provincial government standpoint, just whether or not it will become a stat or what it is.
I believe, Mr. Mayor, some provinces have already declared it a statutory holiday.
Yes.
And as was just spoken, that it's not a statutory holiday yet in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
But I believe in Prince Edward Island, for example, it's a statutory holiday, just as Christmas Day would be a statutory holiday. And I guess they would take it in, if it was on a Saturday, you would take it on a Monday. And I guess the same thing would happen here in the province. It would just move ahead to the next workday.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, this is for this year only. It falls on a Friday. Hopefully by that time next year, the province will have said what they're going to do.
That's right.
And we go from there.
And just for the record, Mr. Mayor, there is a dollar associated with any time you close a business or if you close a public entity like the city of Corner or the province with regard to a cost to the city and a cost to the taxpayers, especially when it's a public entity like the city of Corner or the provincial government for that matter.
Absolutely. And again, I know that we've thought about that this year as well with the Queen's funeral as well. But I think, needless to say, this is a very important day to mark, and there is some overtime costs associated with this, of course, and something that we have to consider.
I think there's a very minor costs reflecting upon the issue itself.
Absolutely.
I think it's something that we can certainly bear.
Yeah.
We agree to that.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counter-minded, carried. And before we move on, I just wanted to note as well that on that day, we do have a cruise ship visiting, a rather large one. I think it's total crew and passengers over 5,000 people are coming into the downtown that day. So of course, we are welcoming the cruise ship visitors, and there will be events planned for them. Of course, we want to make sure that we are respectful toward our Indigenous community here, and as such, we've been communicating with the Qalipu First Nation to make sure. They are doing some events that day around lunchtime, a little after, up in the Majestic Lawn area, and so we've all been coordinating on that and trying to make sure that we mark that day appropriately, But at the same time, we don't get to choose the cruise schedule. And as we're seeing, that is becoming a very big part of our tourism market now. And we want to make sure that that continues as well. So I just want everyone to know that. We're not taking it for granted, and we're working with our Indigenous partners here. So.
And just say, Mr. Mayor, these cruise schedules are sometimes worked out 3 years beforehand.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
nobody would know that September 30th this year would be possibly be.
Yeah, and truthfully, I guess the cruise visitors wouldn't change their schedule for holidays anyway, so. Okay, and last but not least, Councillor Pender, we want to talk about budget consultation.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Staffing are currently working on preparing the 2023 budget. At a Finance and Administration Standing Committee meeting on September 8th, 2022, the committee discussed the option of having a public budget consultation. This would allow for residents to provide feedback for staff to consider during the budget process. To provide that opportunity for the residents, the proposed process would be to hold a public budget consultation during the next Finance and Committee meeting, which is currently scheduled for October 13th at 4:30 p.m. Right here in Council Chambers. Interested parties can register with the committee that they would like to attend and speak to the committee, and we can provide residents with a 3 to 5 minute opportunity within the time frame of the meeting to address the committee regarding the budget. So the proposed resolution, Mr. Mayor, is resolved to approve the budget public consultation as proposed. I so move.
Thank you. Seconder on that?
I'll second.
Thank you. Questions on this one?
Mr. Mayor, it's just something that we haven't done, I guess, in a while.
Yep.
We did, and of course, COVID and everything else probably prohibited some of that. So it's an opportunity for residents to not only tell us what they think should be in the budget or should be in the budget, but also to help them better understand how the budget is processed and some of the major expenses like we've discussed here tonight, and how increases in, chemicals for your water can really change the way we do a budget and the impact on the city. So it's more of a being open and transparent and providing information to residents and giving them an opportunity as well to share with us some of their thoughts and so on. The only thing I would ask is we didn't really give a number or contact.
So we'll have to work out the communication plan for this and set a deadline for the registration as well.
Absolutely.
But assuming council agrees to this, then, we can figure out a communication
We just put that
plan
in our media.
to get this out, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay? Any other questions?
Well, I just a comment, if we're going to be doing that here in Chambers, obviously we're going to need to know numbers because there is a capacity for this room, right?
Yeah, and again, we'll know better once we have, we'll have from the registration process some idea of how many are presenting. But I can envision something like, again, you've seen the lectern that we use here as well, where people can come to the mic and give their 3 to 5 minutes on a certain subject and then move on, right? And again, we can judge the room, you're right. If we see an overwhelming response, we could take it to someplace like the Civic Center or something if we would have to a meeting room there. But we'll judge that based on, it's recommended here just because this is where committees meet. So once Finance Committee meets here typically, this would be a good room to do it. And we have the ability, of course, to have it on our good friends at Rogers and BOIR, so.
Mr. Mayor, I guess if people are registering anyway, we'll know how many are coming roughly.
Yeah.
And, people don't generally stay for the whole thing, so some might stay, do the presentation and leave, so.
Yeah.
But as you said, we can judge it as we go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, any other questions? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Counterminded? Carried. Okay, so now we are going to adjourn the public portion of the meeting. We do have an in-camera session to discuss an item in a privileged setting right after this. So thank you all very much to everyone at home, and we are adjourned.
We have a 5-minute
years true. But one thing stays unchanged decades through, like a call from the past for all who knew. 'Cause at a quarter to 8 and 8 o'clock you can hear the whistle scream, ringing clear for miles around, you swear it's always been. When the whistle roared at the hour of 4 and the day's when 12 was done, each home would pray and the mill would stay, and we'd always hear the whistle blow. The faces and the names have changed with time. Chippers take the place of stones that grind. No substations and floors that once we knew. But with pride we set our clocks to a favorite tune. We always set our clocks to that tune. 'Cause at a quarter to 8 and 8 o'clock you can hear the whistle scream, ringing clear for miles around, you swear it's always been. When the whistle roared at the hour of 4 and the day's when 12 was done, each home would pray, the mill would stay, and we'd always hear the whistle blow. No one knows what the future has in store. Yesterday may come when the paper rolls